In the dim glow of the setting sun filtering through the grand windows of his sprawling mansion, Alexander Thorne pushed open the heavy oak door earlier than planned, his briefcase slipping from his hand as a muffled cry pierced the air like a dagger to his heart. He had cut short his business trip to surprise his fiancée, Sarah, with a diamond necklace he'd picked up in Paris, but what he witnessed in the living room froze him in place. Sarah, her face twisted in frustration, delivering a sharp kick to the frail form of his elderly mother, Elena, who crumpled to the floor with a whimper, her wrinkled hands clutching at the carpet in silent agony. The scene unfolded in slow motion, the woman he loved betraying the one person who had sacrificed everything for him, and in that shattering moment, Alex's world of wealth and ambition cracked wide open, exposing the raw vulnerabilities he had long buried beneath layers of success. If this story of betrayal and redemption resonates with you, and if you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, please hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing your thoughts, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Gentle Hearts for more tales that touch the soul. Alex had built his empire from nothing, starting as a young boy in a cramped apartment where Elena worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on after his father abandoned them. She had been his rock, her gentle hands bandaging his scraped knees from playground falls, her weary eyes lighting up with pride when he graduated college on a scholarship she had scrimped to help fund. Now, at 78, Elena's body betrayed her, arthritis twisted her joints, and early dementia clouded her once sharp mind, making her dependent on the home care Alex provided. He had hired nurses, but Sarah, with her radiant smile and promises of eternal love, had insisted on helping, claiming it would bring them closer as a family. Alex, blinded by infatuation, had seen it as a sign of her devotion, never imagining the darkness lurking beneath her polished exterior. Their romance had blossomed quickly. Sarah, a struggling artist he met at a charity gala, seemed to fill the voids in his life with laughter and passion, her stories of a troubled childhood drawing him in like a moth to flame. But as he stood there, hidden in the shadows of the foyer, watching Elena struggle to rise while Sarah muttered curses under her breath, Alex felt a tidal wave of emotions crash over him: rage, heartbreak, confusion, each one pulling him deeper into a storm he wasn't prepared for. The hours that followed blurred into a haze of quiet observation. Alex didn't burst in as his instincts screamed for him to do. Instead, he retreated silently to his study, the necklace forgotten on the entry table, his mind racing through memories and doubts. Why would Sarah, who had wept in his arms over her own abusive past, inflict pain on someone so vulnerable? He replayed the scene endlessly, the thud of her foot against Elena's side echoing in his ears like a haunting drumbeat. That night, as Sarah greeted him with feigned surprise and a kiss that now tasted like ashes, Alex forced a smile, his heart pounding with the weight of unspoken accusations. He watched her closely over the next days, noticing the subtle signs he had ignored, the impatient sighs when Elena spilled her tea, the rolled eyes behind her back, the way Sarah's phone buzzed incessantly with messages from unknown numbers. The mansion, once a symbol of his triumph, now felt like a gilded cage, trapping him in a web of deception. Elena, sensing the tension but unable to articulate it through her fogged mind, clung to Alex more fiercely, her frail fingers gripping his sleeve as if begging him to see the truth she couldn't voice. As the days stretched into a week, Alex's internal struggle intensified, tearing at the fabric of his carefully constructed life. He dove into work during the day, sealing multi-million-dollar deals with a mechanical precision that masked his turmoil, but at night, alone in his vast bed while Sarah slept soundly beside him, the doubts gnawed at him like relentless shadows. He began piecing together the puzzle discreetly, hiring a private investigator who uncovered Sarah's mounting debts from a failed art venture, her secret meetings with an ex-lover who promised quick cash schemes, and whispers of her resentment toward Elena, whom she viewed as an obstacle to their lavish future. The revelations hit like successive blows, each one chipping away at the pedestal he had placed her on. Yet, amid the betrayal, Alex grappled with his own guilt. Had his relentless pursuit of wealth blinded him to the needs of those closest to him? Elena's condition had worsened under the subtle neglect, her bruises from the kick fading but her spirit dimming, her once vibrant stories of their past reduced to fragmented whispers. He spent stolen moments with her in the garden, pushing her wheelchair along blooming paths where she had taught him to plant seeds as a child, her eyes occasionally clearing with a spark of recognition that pierced his soul. These quiet interludes became his anchor, reminding him of the unbreakable bond that had carried them through poverty and loss, and slowly, a resolve began to form, not one of vengeance, but of profound transformation. The turning point came on a rainy afternoon when Alex returned home unannounced once more, this time armed with evidence and a heavy heart. He found Sarah in the kitchen, her back to him as she rifled through drawers, muttering about Alina's endless demands, while the elderly woman sat forgotten in the adjacent room, her knitting needles idle in her lap. Instead of confronting her with fury, Alex chose a path that would shock everyone, including himself. He invited Sarah to sit down, his voice steady but laced with sorrow, and laid out everything he knew without accusation. In that vulnerable exchange, Sarah's facade crumbled, tears streamed down her face as she confessed her desperation, the pressure of living in his shadow, the fear of losing him if she couldn't keep up appearances. Her own history of abuse had twisted her empathy into resentment, and in a moment of weakness, she had lashed out at Elena, the embodiment of the fragility she hated in herself. Alex listened, his heart aching for the broken woman before him, but his loyalty to his mother remained unyielding. He ended their engagement not with malice, but with a quiet offer of help, funding for therapy and debt relief, a chance to rebuild without him. Sarah left that evening, her sobs echoing through the halls, leaving behind a void that Alex filled by dedicating himself fully to Alina's care. In the months that followed, Alex's life underwent a profound shift, one that rippled outward like waves from a stone cast into still water. He scaled back his business empire, delegating deals to trusted partners, and transformed part of the mansion into a sanctuary for elderly care, hiring compassionate staff and even inviting other seniors from the community to share in activities that brought joy to Alina's days. Her health stabilized under the attentive environment, moments of clarity returning more frequently as she recounted tales of Alex's childhood with a renewed twinkle in her eye. He discovered a deeper purpose in advocacy, founding a foundation to support caregivers and abuse victims, channeling his wealth into programs that educated on elder respect and mental health. Along the way, he met Lila, a dedicated nurse, with a gentle spirit reminiscent of his mother's, whose quiet strength helped heal his wounded heart. Their connection grew organically, rooted in shared values rather than superficial charm, blossoming into a love that felt authentic and grounding. Through it all, Alex reflected on the fragility of trust and the redemptive power of forgiveness, not just for others, but for himself, acknowledging how his absences had contributed to the cracks in his family. As Alina's final days approached peacefully in the warmth of their renewed bond, she passed with Alex by her side, her last words a whispered, "Thank you," that encapsulated a lifetime of love. In her memory, Alex continued his work, his actions inspiring countless others to prioritize compassion over conquest. The mansion, once a monument to isolation, became a hub of community and healing, proving that true wealth lay not in fortunes amassed, but in hearts mended and lives uplifted. If this tale of heartbreak turning to hope has stirred something deep within you, touched your heart with its message of redemption and unwavering love, please show your support, like this video, leave a comment sharing how it moved you, and subscribe to Gentle Hearts for more stories that remind us of our shared humanity. Before we end, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below with a line from this story that resonated most with you, or share a personal experience where kindness changed everything.